And once again, I want to say greetings to each and every one of you, Aquaba, and welcome. Welcome to another round of the Conscious Rasta Report here on LIV Radio, LIV TV, here on livinginblack.com. My name is Kitiobia Wadu, aka the Conscious Rasta. The weekday mornings, you and I get together live. We come in from 9 a.m. to 7 time. That's 12 noon Eastern Time, 5 p.m. GMT, and 8 p.m. East Africa Time. We get together with you and we deal with culture, consciousness, historical perspectives, entertainment, economics, education, health, labor, law, politics, religion, family, conflict, future studies, all areas of human interactivity and development. Today's date is Monday. It is the 5th day of January 2025 in the Western calendar. This corresponds to the year 6266. No, 2026 in the Western calendar. This corresponds to the year 6266 in the Kemetan calendar, to which we realign our cultural clock. Welcome to the 7th millennium. You have found your family in a peaceful place here on LIV Radio, LIV TV, here on livinginblack.com. And bear with me, everybody. I have got so many buttons to push and only so many fingers to push them with. Yeah, man. Let's talk about what we have on today's show. I'm beginning a conversation that I'm hoping will inspire all of us. And I did wear a blue shirt today, but the green screen is taking my shirt out. So let's just do this, hit this button, and I think I look okay right now. Let me tell you what we have on the agenda for today. Today's program is entitled Starting the New Year with a New Cellular You. Starting a new year with a new cellular you. This is our first health and wellness program for the new calendar year. And you may have noticed that I kind of skipped all of the typical New Year's roundup shows that I might have done. There would be the assessment of the past year. And then, wait a minute, I still got one more button to push. Okay, we are live. Now, you notice I did skip all the typical assessment shows winding up the last year. You and I are not bound to 2025. To me, 2025 was a disaster in all aspects of it. We're not bound to that old year. And I could do forecasts for the new year, but I want to put this in our hands. I want to give us, you and I, something to hold on to, something that we can grasp individually, but we would be better off grasping collectively. So that's what today's program is all about. Us putting our hands on something tangible. Now, I have been working quite a bit this morning, and I did engage in, and let me just take this off the table, free up memory here. I did engage in a distinctive, I'm working with this program called Notebook LM, and Notebook LM is really quite impressive. It really is. And so that's what we're going to be working on today. I'm going to show you what I produced today. The first thing we're going to put up on the table is I have a slide presentation. Now, bear with me. My desktop is full of stuff. I got Gemini open. I'm going to close my email. I do have our Rumble window open for Africa One, Sister Shingai. Right now, you and I are on a magnificent course. We're culturally connected, spiritually connected. We are also on a parallel health and longevity course. Now, I am so happy to have you in the house today. And if she says Hotep, Brother Keaty, means peace. Hotep means peace. And Hotep, she says to the global LIB family, this sister, this beloved sister, embodies the very purpose of why 23 years and 1 day ago, or 23 years and 2 days ago, I started LIB Radio. 23 years and 2 days ago, I started LIB Radio. She embodies the spirit of Ubuntu. I am because she is. She is because we are. So thank you for being with us today. I'm going in a different direction immediately. I am no longer going to spend very much time talking about things I cannot change. I'm not going to be talking about things that I cannot change. And so what I'm about to do is we are going to launch a new class. This new class will be the 56th day stem cell revolution, or stem cell regenerative class. That's what it is. The stem cell revolution is the book, a holistic approach to stem cell activation and regenerative therapy. I'm going to teach another class. This will be the second class I've taught on stem cell, utilizing natural holistic means of turning on our stem cell generation processes. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to put up today's conversation into the mix. I'm going to add this to stage. This is a slideshow that I have recently created that's going to give us the insight to what this is all about. Let me just make this a little bit larger for my web page, and you should see it pretty well on your screen as well. This is a slide I created today. Our bodies are designed to regenerate throughout our lives. A pool of adult stem cells resides in our tissues, responsible for repair, replacement, and regeneration. They are the biological foundation of our health span, our ability to live healthier, not just longer. Let's begin with a couple of these quotes. Core challenges stem cell exhaustion. As one review states, quote, a decline in stem cell activity or the regenerative potential of tissues, also known as stem cell exhaustion, is one of the hallmarks seen in aging. From a review of the impact of caloric restriction. We're going to talk about caloric restriction. This exhaustion, stem cell exhaustion, is a critical driver of age-related pathologies, from muscle wasting, sarcopenia, and metabolic disease to neurodegeneration and cancer. So let's get this party started. But what if we could influence this process? What if we could learn to orchestrate our own regeneration? And I think some of you have noticed in the 3 years I am somewhat obsessive about my stem cells, and it works. It rejuvenates. I feel fresh. I feel wonderfully healthy. I do my exercise routines. I do like 7 exercise routines every day now. And we talked about briefly, I have come up with a complex application to figure out how old I am biologically as opposed to chronologically. Most of you know I'm 70 years young. Biologically, I'm between 45 and 50. It also, the app gave me what I should expect. If I keep this routine up, it's not going to be easy, but I'm going to do it every day. It should allow me to live an extra 58 years to the age of 124. And I keep adding to it. So this is where we're going with this. I want to show you why one of the reasons that I look fresh and I feel fresh as well. So let's go to the next panel. The central circuit, a balance between growth and preservation. Here is the growth presentation cycle. It begins with nutritional abundance. These inputs, nutritional abundance, gives me access to the P13K, those genetic activation, and AKT pathway. That turns on my mechanistic tolerance of rapamycin. That's a natural process in our body. Even though rapamycin, it sounds chemical, it sounds synthetic, sounds technical, it's actually a natural process. This allows for the proliferation and cell growth, protein synthesis, mTOR, and it allows me to, therefore, go into FOXO transcription factors. That's, again, dealing with the genes. And this all turns on repair preservation mode. With the nutrient scarcity, that's caloric restriction, and fasting, autophagy, which we've talked about a lot here on LIB Radio in the past few months. Autophagy is your friend. It is your best friend. Autophagy is going inside your body and cleaning up debris, cleaning up old cells, cleaning up senescent cells, cells that are going out. It helps to rejuvenate our body from the cellular level out. The DNA repair, mitochondrial health, and quiescence. These are all amplified by AMPK, which is a process for creating energy using the mitochondria, and it works with the sirtuin circuits of our DNA. All of this feeds back into this loop. So let me go through this, and I'm going to go to the next panel. Level one, should say level 1. Now, I just did make this presentation using AI, and I do notice AI puts these errors in. So level 1 should be level 1, tuning the system with metabolic signals. The metabolic signals are caloric restriction. That's what I am. Those are my controls over tuning the system. My caloric restriction, I am on a 16/8 daily caloric restriction fast. I am on that for life. From this moment on, I will occasionally bend the boundaries of it, but 16 hours, no fat, no eating, 8 hours, 18/6. That's what I meant to say. Apologize. 18/6. 18 hours, I am not eating, which takes us right to the edge of turning on all these processes again. And then 6 hours, I do eat. And that allows me to build up my energy reserves. And also, by restricting my hours to 6 hours, it keeps my insulin levels very low and in my control. So that's with caloric restriction and detox fasting. That turns on mTOR is to my advantage. Mechanistic tolerance of rapamycin. The AMPK, which I can't remember what it stands for right now. I keep redefining this in my mind. But it's a matter of amplifying the body's positive uses of energy on a cellular level. The sirtuin circuits, and then FOXO, I don't recognize that right now. It's in the research. Core mechanism of fasting. Fasting is a powerful modulator of stem cell function. A 24-hour fast triggers a metabolic switch in intestinal stem cells, the endothelial lining of our intestine. These are the fastest growing cells in our body. From using glucose to fatty acids, doubling their regenerative capacity in mice studies. The power of caloric restriction, CR. Caloric restriction is one of the most reproducible interventions to slow age-associated pathologies. It works by, and here I got to do this. Let me move this to my other desktop because there's some writing was coming in the bottom of that one. It works by directly influencing the stem cell niche. Very important. Hard data. How caloric restriction works. 1. In the intestine, caloric restriction suppresses mTOR C1 signaling in Paneth cells, the stem cell niche, to shift stem cell equilibrium towards self-renewal at the cost of differentiation. Point 2. Now, that differentiation is good because stem cells can differentiate into its 200 different types of cells. But when this mTOR C1 signaling is going on, the stem cells don't differentiate so much. My body directs what stem cells I need. That's very important. And that's a natural process. Skeletal muscle. Short-term caloric restriction enhances skeletal muscle stem cell function, increases the expression of sirtuin circuits, and FOXO3A. That's another gene gene protocol, and improves in vivo, meaning in my body, regenerative potential by up to 4 times in transplant models. Short-term caloric restriction. Third point, hair and skin. Caloric restriction stimulates an expansion in epidermis stem cell pools, leading to a thicker epidermis and an increased rate of hair growth and retention in mice. Now, because I'm not a mice, my hair doesn't grow except where it does grow, and it is rather robust. I do keep it trimmed. So let's go forward. It has a detailed map there, but it's too small to check out. And if you have any comments, I would love to hear from you. We're going forward. Level 2. Lever 3. Okay, I see why it's saying lever. It's because this is like a lever. This is something I can pull, this lever. So it's not level 2, even though it looks like it's level 2. Lever 3. 2. I get a chance to manipulate this. Biochemical signals from our diet. Now, I have my green tea. My green tea has turmeric in it. And what I know that this doesn't show here is that if I add freshly ground pepper to turmeric, it activates the turmeric 20 times more powerful. So that's a very smart thing. Piperine. The smart foods concept. Beyond macronutrients, certain foods contain powerful compounds that act as information directly interacting with stem cell signaling pathways. Some have been shown to selectively target and kill cancer stem cells, the root of cancer malignancy, especially the root of cancer metastasis. The primary reason why conventional chemotherapy and radiotherapy have failed to produce any significant improvements in cancer survival rates is because cancer stem cells are resistant to these interventions. That quote from the book 25 Cancer Stem Cell Killing Foods. It's from a report. And it talked about these compounds. EGCG, epigalactin, epigallocatechin 3 gallate, that's from my green tea, curcumin, resveratrol, gingerol, there's ginger in my tea, there is delphinidin in raspberries and blueberries. I will have blueberries at my first meal of the day, which is after my fasting, my intermittent fasting. At noon, I will eat blueberries in my chia pudding. There is isothiocyanate sulforaphane, which is from cruciferous vegetables, broccoli and kale. Quercetin from capers and onion. Ursolic acid from thyme, basil, oregano. And then there's piperine from the black pepper piperine. And it also says resveratrol, which I do take as a supplement, is a known activator of SIRT1, while compounds like curcumin and ECGC have complex effects on multiple pathways, including that regulate apoptosis and it cut off. I don't see that part, but let's continue. Lever 3, the gut microbiome, our inner ecosystem. The microbiome's rule. The trillions of microbes in our gut are not passive residents. They form a complex ecosystem that mediates the link between our diet, our immune system, and our overall health. Now, listen, I'm going through this as fast as I can today. But if you should choose to join the stem cell rejuvenation class, you'll have 56 days. That's 8 weeks to get all this in. And the beautiful thing about it is once you turn on the processes, you really don't have to think about the science. Turn on the processes and the science will be natural. Your cells know all of this. Microbiota and stem cells. Disruption of this ecosystem, called dysbiosis, can have serious consequences. In patients undergoing hematologic stem cell hematopoietic stem cell transplantation, a loss of gut microbiota diversity is linked to increased mortality and complications like graft versus host disease. Now, increased mortality, yeah, that means death. That's why this whole stem cell activation, rejuvenation, regeneration is so closely aligned to our aging process. And if we don't manage it, it will manage us out. The mechanism of influence, butyrate production. Commensal bacteria produce short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, which can promote regulatory T cells, Tregs, helping to balance your immune response. Hey, I don't get sick, and I'm proud to say so. I don't get sick because I'm in control of my immune system. Intestinal integrity. A healthy microbiome maintains the gut barrier, preventing inflammation that can systematically exhaust stem cell pools. Therapeutic strategies. This understanding has led to new strategies to support stem cell function, such as Prebiotics, indigestible fibers, onions, asparagus, human milk, that's for babies. With babies, human milk is great. Human milk for adults, it's kind of a turnoff. That feed beneficial bacteria. Probiotics, live beneficial organisms. And then there's fecal microbiota transplantation, FMT, restoring a healthy microbial ecosystem to improve patient outcomes post HSCT. Now, we do not do hematopoietic stem cell transplantation in our therapy. It's all natural, no transplants. So you don't have to worry about grabbing somebody else's poop and putting it up inside of you. No, that's not happening. Let's continue. Autophagy, the cellular self-cleaning and reset program. What is autophagy? Autophagy is a fundamental cell survival mechanism that allows cells to adapt to metabolic stress through the degradation and recycling of intracellular components to generate energy and macromolecular precursors. And it shows you a chart of the animal cell, the different organelles inside the cell. And this is the process of autophagy, where it surrounds them, begins to engulf them, sends certain parts to the lysosome, which recycles parts of the cell. And then there are the autolysosome. So critical for stem cell health is one, maintenance. So there's identification, engulfment, fusion, and recycling. Critical for stem cell health, maintenance, maintains quiescence, clears damaged components, preventing stress that would force premature activation or senescence. It fuels activation, provides a temporary energy source when stem cells need to transition from a dormant to an active state. Now, these are talking about the different nutrients. The amino acids maintains quiescence. The fatty acids fuels activation. And then the natural sugars preserves stemness, regulates protein balance, preventing cellular aging, senescence. How to activate it? Autophagy is strongly induced by the very levers we've discussed. Fasting, the most potent natural activator, and certain dietary compounds from green tea and turmeric. I will drink to that. Key insight here. Defects in autophagy are linked to aging, neurodegeneration, and the generation of cancer stem cells. Targeting autophagy is a promising strategy for regenerative medicine. And if I have to remind you right now, according to the latest statistics, it is expected in America that 40% of adults, slightly over 40%, now it's over 41%, will be contacting cancer at a certain point in their lifetime. At the beginning of the 19th century, it was less than 24%. It was at the beginning of the 19th century, it was 6%. At the end of the century, it had increased fourfold to 24%. Now, it is 40% of adults. Let's keep going. I hope you find this fascinating. I do. Most certainly I do. We're going forward. Yeah, here we go. Application. Accelerating recovery in elite athletes. We have different athletes. I have their names in other places, but just a few. You recognize some of these. Peyton Manning received stem cell therapy for a nagging neck injury and went on to play 4 more seasons, winning a Super Bowl. Now, the stem cell therapy all of these elite athletes are receiving is injected stem cell therapy. The position that I teach does not use needles, does not involve transplants of different materials from hematopoietic stem cells from others. No, it's about activating your own mesenchymal stem cells, your own. That's critical. Kobe Bryant frequently traveled to Germany for plasma-rich protein therapy on his knees, which was successful in extending his career. Tiger Woods received platelet-rich plasma for treatments for joint and back injuries to speed his recovery. And a major supporter of stem cell therapy, using it to recover from injuries like a torn hamstring in 2017. Now, I haven't been a big soccer fan, and I know this is one of the most famous soccer players in the world, but I just don't know his name right now. Conor McGregor used stem cell injections to make a full recovery from a torn ACL. The goal, these therapies, often using a patient's own autologous stem cells, aim to repair, restore, replace, and regenerate cells in damaged tissues like cartilage, tendons, and muscles. I have a friend, actually 2 friends, who have been considering hip replacement surgery, and I tried to contact him. He didn't contact me back, and he's a good friend too. And when I finally did hear from him, he said he was going to think about it, but he had something scheduled coming months. I'm kind of mad at him, and so I say, hey, I contacted you 3-4 times, and it's in your hands at this point. Let's keep going. Next page, a application, a new frontier in female infertility. 1 second. A new frontier in female infertility. The challenge. Infertility affects 48 million couples globally. Conditions like premature ovarian failure, polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS, and endometriosis are key drivers. Mesenchymal stem cells as a solution. Mesenchymal stem cells are emerging as a promising therapy in infertility due to their unique properties. How MSCs work? Point 1, self-renewal and differentiation. They can differentiate into multiple cell types to repair damaged tissue. 2.2, immunomodulation. Regulate immune responses, reducing inflammation, can reduce pro-inflammatory interleukin 6 and interleukin 1b beta, while increasing anti-inflammatory Tregs, T cell regulators. Point 3, secretion of growth factors. Release bioactive molecules like VEGF and insulin growth factor to stimulate new blood vessel growth and tissue repair. And mitochondrial fat transfer. This can transfer healthy mitochondria to damaged cells, restoring their full function. And the mitochondria is the little engine inside your cell that creates energy. New function of your mitochondria. Clinical evidence studies in women with polycystic ovarian factor have shown that mesenchymal stem cells can enhance ovarian function and restore fertility. Preclinical studies show mesenchymal stem cells derived from bone marrow, umbilical cords, and adipose tissue can restore ovarian hormones and folliculogenesis. Folliculogenesis meaning regeneration of the follicles. This is very important. Nature's own stem cell factory, the fetal contribution to maternal health. Now this is the real miracle, because that baby that grows inside that woman's beautiful chemical processing factory, that baby is the very evidence of the miracle of stem cells. The phenomena during pregnancy, a small number of fetal cells cross the placenta into the mother's circulation, a phenomenon known as fetal microchimerism, microchimerism. Point two, persistence and power. What is astonishing is their presence, their persistence, and potential. These pregnancy-associated progenitor cells can be found in maternal circulation up to 27 years after birth. After she gives birth, the evidence of that child's stem cell activity up to 27 years. This is an example of why I say a woman, to complete her physical being, she needs to have at least one child. At least one. A remarkable case study. Researchers found a woman with liver disease who experienced significant repopulation of her liver with healthy hepatocytes derived from her son's fetal cells. In another case, cancerous thyroid cells were surrounded by healthy thyroid cells derived from a son's fetus. Whatever the mechanism involved, we believe that the idea of fetal cells may have important long-term health implications for the woman by providing her with a younger population of cells that may have different capabilities in the response to tissue injury. This is a natural example of a younger cell population regenerating an older host, the very principle of regenerative medicine. Wow, this is awesome. We're almost, well, I got as much research as you want to hear today. Nobody is responding. For Africa One is the only one to say anything, and she did say greetings. I'm going to see how many people hit the like button, because if you don't like it, there's no reason for me to continue. What is on the horizon? Orchestrating regeneration with precision. And I'm proud to say this is where I'm at. The ethical bright line, the ethical debate surrounding stem cells often centers on the use of fertilized embryos. However, emerging technologies bypass this issue entirely by utilizing unfertilized eggs. So here they have the chart. The unfertilized human egg goes down two pathways. One, reproductive cloning, is not pursued. So that one, we don't have to go to that pathway. To the right pathway, therapeutic pathways. Parthenogenesis. An unfertilized egg is chemically activated to divide. These parthenotes can reproduce totipotent stem cells, but are incapable of forming placental cells, making it impossible for them to develop into an embryo. Somatic cell nuclear transfer, SCNT, therapeutic cloning. The DNA from an unfertilized egg is removed and replaced with DNA from a patient's own cell, example given skin cell. The cell is activated to produce stem cells that are a perfect genetic match for the patient. Now, some of these things your body does naturally. I think the previous panel showed how these placental stem cells do end up in the woman's body. I'm not into a whole lot of intervention, unnatural intervention. If I can intervene using my plate, if I can intervene using my blender or juicer, if I can intervene using supplements, that's where my points of intervention. Hey, HIIT has an impact. High impact interval training has an impact on the stem cells. So we're into natural methodologies. I promise you that. During this course, this 56-day stem cell activation course, we will only engage in natural processes. Point, it's important to distinguish between reproductive cloning and a technology so divorced from cloning of individuals that it does not even produce a fertilized embryo. A renucleated egg has no potential for becoming a human being. And I think that's very, very key. And the last point, it says patient-specific tissues for therapy. So that is the outcome of somatic cell nuclear transfer and parthenogenesis. Patient-specific cells for therapy. Almost finished. From passive aging to active orchestration. This puts it all together. The metabolic signals, the biochemical signals, the systemic signals, and the direct interventions are all intended at influencing this quadruple of different functions. AMPK, which is about energy utilization. The sirtuin circuits turn on specific genes to function the way our body is designed to function, such as I allow my body to adjust to cold in the winter, and I allow my body to adjust to heat in the summertime. That activates the sirtuin circuits. And in fact, this morning when I took my shower, at the end of my shower, I grabbed the lever and I turn it towards the cold, turn it towards the cold, turn it towards the cold. Keep going, keep going. Yeah, I'm starting to feel it now. Turn it, keep turning, keep turning, keep turning until your body seizes. And then you leave it there. You leave it there until you got the seizure under control. That seizure is your sirtuin circuit, your genetic process turning on. That's why you have a physical reaction. And in doing that, I get the reward. And that's longevity. Our bodies contain a powerful innate system for regeneration, governed by a core set of signaling pathways, our stem cell control panel. Metabolic signals, calorie restriction and fasting reset the system toward repair. Biochemical signals, specific compounds in our diet can fine-tune cellular behavior. Systemic signals. Cultivating a healthy microbiome provides a foundation for systemic health, and direct interventions, targeted stem cell therapies, can accelerate healing and restore function. The future of health is not just about treating disease after it appears. It is about understanding and orchestrating the fundamental biological systems that maintain health and vitality throughout our lifetime. We are the conductors of our own regenerative orchestra. Wow, that's pretty amazing. I hope you do agree. And on that note, I think we did finish that. Yeah, that was the end of that presentation. And I'm going to close this window and I'm going to come back to you. I do see you in the house. Rick Rude, I'm here and listening. Thank you, Rick Rude. It is a pleasure to have you in the house today. What did you think, Brother Rick? Did that seem too complicated for Africa One? Did that seem like it went way over your head or other people's head? You need to let me know, because I'm going to be teaching this course. The course lasts 56 days. It's based in no small part, and you will get this book as a part of the course. And I think I'm going to throw in 2 books along with it. I'm going to throw in one book, which is my recipes, Living Superfood Recipes, Volume 2, which is high quality gourmet raw food recipes. And I'm going to throw in this one. And this book is fantastic. The Stem Cell Therapy. It talks about when is chapter, what chapter is this? It's about chapter 4 or 5. When is stem cell rejuvenation therapy helpful? The stem cells place in whole body health. I list a bunch of diseases, 40 different diseases, including acute respiratory distress syndrome, Alzheimer's disease, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, 4, arthritis, 5, autoimmune diseases, and there are some 60 of them, 6, azoospermia, so for the male, infertility, azoospermia is a lack of sperm. Number 7, blood disorders. Number 8, cancers. Number 9, cardiovascular diseases. Number 10, chronic ischemic cardiomyopathy. Number 11, chronic lung diseases. 12, congenital disorders. 13, diabetes. 14, emphysema. 15, endometriosis. 16, eye diseases. 17, heart failure. 18, hematological disorders, meaning your blood, your liver, you got something disordered. Number 18, that's hematological. Number 19, Huntington's disease. Number 20, ischemic heart disease, meaning you're not getting enough blood supply. 21, liver diseases. 22, male infertility. 23, motor neuron disease. 24, multiple myeloma. 25, multiple sclerosis. 26, musculoskeletal disorders. Number 27, neuroblastoma. 28, neurodegenerative diseases. 29, organ regeneration. 30, Parkinson's disease. 31, polycystic ovarian syndrome. 32, premature ovarian insufficiency. 33, rebuilding cartilage, avoiding joint replacement surgery. 34, reverse signs of aging. 35, sickle cell disease. 36, spinal cord injury. 37, torn ACL, anterior cruciate ligament. 38, traumatic brain injury. 39, vitiligo. And number 40, wound healing. And so this book explains how all of these diseases and disorders, I have an explanation for every one of them, and that next follows. Just I'll read vitiligo. That was what Michael Jackson and others, so many others, suffer from vitiligo. Vitiligo is an autoimmune disorder, and at one point, I had a very slight case of vitiligo myself. Just I would see little white spots showing up on my arms and hands, the little white spots. They went away because of my stem cell class that I taught. For Africa One, I see you in the house. She says, this is a university level class, not over my head, but needs concentration. You're absolutely right. And I only presented about half of it today. So the book is a must for everyone who is natural, holistic, and does not want to get diseases. If you do happen to get illness or whatever, hey, I'm over this in 2 days. Eddie McCroy, I see you in the house, my brother Eddie. Rick Rude, he says, I'm here listening. He says, not at all. It's not too high over your head. Thank you so much. And Eddie McCroy says, greetings. He hit the B instead of the G. He says, greetings, cleaning that up. Great to have you in the house, Brother Eddie. It's always a pleasure. And thank you, the three of you, for being responsive today. That means so much to me, because I told you at the beginning of today's conversation, 2025 was a horrible year and a great year, depending on which way you felt about it. But 2026 year is the year that I stop responding, reflecting, and fascinating and focusing on things that I cannot change. I can change my health for the better. I can maintain perfect health for a lifetime. In fact, just recently, I've been calculating my health like every day, and I'm about ready to roll out my longevity app. Or I may not. I may keep it proprietary and say, if you want to get access to that longevity map, you have to pay. You have to pay me for that. According to the longevity map that I put together, if I stick to it strictly, I will live to be the oldest man on earth. That's not using chemistry. That's not using infrared light reflects and that. I'll use sunlight, 15 minutes of direct sunlight every morning. I will live to be between 122 and 124 years of age. Actually, I got it down now. It's focusing in ever more. I will live, my maximum age will be 124, according to the AI. Yet, AI has flaws in it. According to my African intelligence, my AI ancestral intelligence, I will live to be 127 years old. With a viability, an unassisted viability to 118. And I'm serious. I'll show you the formula. I'll calculate your life expectancy. If you want me to do that, we'll make that as part of our consultation. And again, from this point on, today was the last day. The last day. Today was a final day of discounted Kitty. So if you want a consultation, if you do it by midnight, you will save, I think it's 17%, 20%, something like that. But tomorrow, I'm going into PayPal and I'm going to change my buttons and put the price back where it was. Because I must be compensated. That makes sense. You do work for a living. You can discount your services, but you can't maintain it like that forever. Otherwise, you're going backwards. We're going to be going forwards. So, Eddie, you got somebody needs a health consultation? Click on the link today. It's on my Facebook page. I send out my email program to all of you. You all have it. So I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to see if I can pull this next research up. I'm going to do this to the best of my abilities. I think I can get through this. It's kind of lengthy, but I think I can get through this in the next 5 or 10 minutes because I did start 15 minutes afterwards. The regenerative revolution. 5 surprising scientific breakthroughs to activate your body's stem cells. Number 1, introduction. Your body's hidden repair kit. Your body possesses an incredible, yet often overlooked capacity for self-repair. At the heart of this system is a powerful internal repair kit, a vast population of adult stem cells. These remarkable cells are on standby, ready to replace damaged tissue and maintain the health of your organs. For years, regenerative science seemed confined to high-tech laboratories and complex procedures. However, recent scientific discoveries are revealing surprising and accessible ways to activate these cells in our own bodies, moving the power of regeneration from the lab into our daily lives. Here are 5 scientific breakthroughs that highlight how we can awaken this innate healing potential. Now, before I continue that, I want to real quickly just generate another image, an infographic. Okay, now let me go back to this report. Point 1, 5 surprising scientific breakthroughs. Your child's stem cells can repair your body decades later. One of the most profound discoveries in regenerative science is the phenomenon of fetal microchimerism. During pregnancy, a small number of pregnancy-associated progenitor cells, PAPCs, from the fetus can cross the placenta and enter the mother's circulation. What is truly astonishing is not just that this transfer occurs, but the long-term impact it has. Research has revealed two remarkable facts. Number one, these fetal stem cells can persist and thrive in the mother's body for as long as 27 years after she has given birth. What a miracle. What a miracle. Oh, boy. Women, you are so fortunate. And point two, these cells have been found to travel to diseased or damaged maternal organs, such as the liver and thyroid. Once there, they differentiate and begin to repopulate the tissue with healthy, functional cells. This finding carries the profound implications that pregnancy itself can provide a mother with a natural, long-term form of stem cell therapy. The child, in a sense, leaves behind a living gift of regenerative potential that can be called upon to repair the mother's body decades later. Whatever the mechanism involved, we believe that the idea of fetal cells expressing non-hematopoietic markers is novel and may have important long-term health implications for the woman who has undergone pregnancy by providing her with a younger population of cells that may have different capabilities in response to tissue injury. Point two of the 5 scientific breakthroughs. It's not just fasting, it's the feast that follows. The benefits of fasting are increasingly well known. Going without food for a period triggers autophagy, a critical cellular recycling process that cleans out damaged components. It also causes stem cells to enter a stress-resistant state, switching from using glucose to using fatty acids for energy. But new research reveals a counterintuitive twist. The real regenerative magic happens after the fast. This is the fasting refeeding paradox. While fasting period primes stem cells and prepares them for action, it is the refeeding phase that triggers a powerful proliferative burst. This subsequent feast significantly enhances the regenerative capacity of tissues, particularly in the intestinal lining and the blood system. A study in mice found that this cycle of fasting followed by refeeding can have a remarkable rejuvenating effect on old blood-forming stem cells. The process restored their function to a level nearly equivalent to that of young stem cells, effectively turning back the clock on their regenerative potential. And through autophagy, helps old blood stem cells survive the stresses of aging. These old stem cells do not have the same capacity as young stem cells to create the blood's full repertoire of cells. That youthful capacity can be nearly restored, the researchers discovered, with a 24-hour fasting period followed by refeeding. Point 3 of 5. Everyday foods can target cancer at its root. Without any tumor, there is a small resilient subset of cells known as cancer stem cells, CSCs. These cells are believed to be the true drivers of cancer, responsible for its growth, its resistance to treatment, and its devastating ability to return after seeming remission. A major limitation of conventional chemotherapy and radiotherapy is their ability to effectually eradicate these cancer stem cells. While these treatments can shrink a tumor by killing the bulk of its cells, they often leave the CSCs behind, allowing the cancer to eventually regrow. This is where a groundbreaking area of research offers new hope. Scientists have discovered that natural components found in a variety of everyday foods and herbs can selectively target and kill these highly resistant cancer stem cells. A review of the scientific literature has identified numerous powerful examples, including EGCG from green tea, curcumin from turmeric, 6-gingerol from ginger, delphinidin from blueberries. This research is empowering, suggesting that our dietary choices can play a meaningful role in fighting malignancy at its very source, complementing and potentially enhancing other treatment strategies. The failure to eradicate cancer stem cells during the course of therapy is postulated to be the driving force for tumor recurrence and metastasis. Point 4. A simple breath of pure oxygen mobilizes your inner repair kit. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy, HBOT, which involves breathing in pure oxygen in a pressurized chamber, is known to mobilize stem cells. However, a recent study has revealed that much simpler and more accessible therapy can achieve similar results. Non-mobaric oxygen therapy, NBO. NBO therapy is distinct from hyperbaric oxygen therapy because it involves breathing 100% oxygen without any change in atmospheric pressure. In a recent study, healthy volunteers breathed pure oxygen for 60 minutes a day on 10 separate occasions over 2 weeks. The results were significant. This simple protocol successfully mobilized specific types of stem progenitor cells, increasing their numbers in the bloodstream where they can travel to sites of injury. The therapy also had an unexpected effect. It upregulated 2 inflammatory cytokines involved in tissue repair and immune responses, demonstrating that even a simple intervention can trigger a complex and beneficial biological cascade. This finding is significant because it illustrates the principle of hormesis, the idea that a low dose of a stressor, in this case oxygen, can trigger a beneficial adaptive response in the body. The research effectively charts a new point on the hormetic curve for oxygen, suggesting that we can achieve powerful regenerative effects with simpler, less intensive therapies than previously thought necessary. And number 5, the surprising link between mindfulness and stem cell longevity. The connection between mind and body is no longer a fringe concept, but a field of rigorous scientific inquiry. Chronic stress is known to wreak havoc on our cells. It activates the body's primary stress response system, the HPA axis, leading to elevated levels of hormone cortisol. Over time, this can accelerate cellular aging by shortening telomeres, the protective caps at the ends of our chromosomes that safeguard our DNA. Mindfulness meditation has emerged as a powerful intervention capable of directly countering this process. It has been shown to reduce cortisol levels and help regulate the HPA axis. The most impactful finding, however, connects this mental practice directly to the machinery of cellular repair. Intensive meditation programs have been linked to increased activity of telomerase, the enzyme responsible for repairing and lengthening telomeres. This is a vital marker for enhanced stem cell longevity and functional capability. By maintaining telomere length, telomerase helps preserve the integrity of the stem cell niche, protecting it from the inflammatory stress that drives aging. This research provides a clear biological mechanism linking a state of mind to a tangible process of cellular regeneration. Conclusion: awakening your body's potential. The landscape of regenerative medicine is expanding rapidly, but the most profound discoveries point not to complex external technologies, but to the power we hold within. These breakthroughs reveal a deeply interconnected regenerative network where the cellular memory of pregnancy, the metabolic signals from our diet, the oxygen in our breath, and the electrical calm of our minds all converge to command the same biological hardware, our stem cells. This growing body of science empowers us to become active participants in our own healing, showing that the most revolutionary tools for regeneration may already be part of our daily lives. As science continues to decode the body's innate repair mechanisms, what aspect of our daily lives will be the next to reveal its hidden powers to heal? Wow, that was pretty doggone good. So lastly, I created the stem cell. I meant to create an infographic, but I think when I came out of this and started to read, oh, it says now I need to upgrade. So good thing I got through everything I did today. I do need to upgrade, and doggone it. Oh, that's not too bad. Upgrade to Google AI Pro for higher limits in Notebook LM and more. So it's $649 for 3 months. So I'm going to be doing that. For Africa One asks the question, did the report mention the type of food to eat after fasting? I break my fast with fruit. Yeah, in the larger report and the report that I put out, I limited the number of sources that would go into the report. So it skipped over the foods to eat. I do have the foods to eat in here, and the best foods for, this is the best supplements, herbal teas. I have a chapter of herbal teas, fruitarian fasting and stem cell revolution, and of the best foods to eat. This a whole chapter, best foods and herbs to support stem cell rejuvenation. There's a bunch of these. I'm just going to give you just a few fruits. Apples contain quercetin, very important. Berries, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, and others are rich in antioxidants and phytochemicals. Citrus fruits, oranges, grapefruits, and lemons are high in vitamin C. Coffee berry fruit, tart and antioxidant-rich coffee berries, also known as coffee fruit. Cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, kale, cauliflower. Dark chocolate contains flavonols. Fatty fish, if you're into fish, salmon, mackerel, and sardines are excellent sources of omega-3 fatty acids. Fermented foods, these are all in alphabetical order. Vegan yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi. Healthy fats, omega-3 fatty acids from walnuts and flax seeds and hemp seeds. Herbs and spices, turmeric, ginger, and garlic, anti-inflammatory properties. Green tea containing epigalactocatogen gallate, EGCG. Leafy greens, legumes, mushrooms, shiitake, maitake mushrooms, nuts and seeds, almonds, walnuts, chia seeds, pumpkin seeds, hemp seeds, flax seeds, all high in omega-3. Olive oil, tomatoes, tropical fruits, very important, a bunch of them. Turmeric, vegan broth, and whole grains. So that's just a brief from the chapter called Best Foods and Herbs to support stem cell revolution or rejuvenation. I do have begin the chapter with two quotes. One from Dr. Michael Greger from How Not to Die. Quote, certain foods, particularly those rich in antioxidants like berries and green tea, can help protect stem cells from oxidative damage, promoting their longevity and function, close quote. And the second quote from Dr. David Perlmutter from Grain Brain writes, quote, mushrooms, particularly varieties like reishi and shiitake, are not only nutritious, but also have compounds that may support stem cell health and regeneration. And then the next chapter is fruitarian fasting and stem cell rejuvenation. The next chapter is entitled Herbal Teas for Stem Cell Support. And the next chapter, Nutritional Supplements for Stem Cell Rejuvenation. So please get the book. It's available at Amazon.com or .co for my UK listeners. And I highly recommend to break your fast. Now, I break my fast, and this is in my new updated longevity profile. I break my fast with oatmeal and chia pudding with fresh fruit or frozen fruit in the chia pudding and in the oatmeal. The chia pudding is just chia, almond milk, and then whatever fruit I put in, whatever fruit I have fresh here. I think I have pears and blueberries here, strawberries. And my oatmeal is a little more sophisticated. I will start by cutting up an apple or half an apple at least, an apple a day, keep the doctor away. Well, I try and eat at least 2 apples a day, keep his lawyer cousin away as well. But put in the apple, I boil the apple with cinnamon, then I add the oatmeal, or I add raisins to it. And when I serve it up with a little turbinado and walnuts, coconut oil, and ginger powder. So those are my go-to break fast these days. The thing about the chia pudding, it keeps my weight down. Now, I am actually 5 pounds lesser than what I had been working to get to. I'd been working to get to and keep my weight at 145. Now, my weight is consistently under 141. I weighed myself this morning. It was 140.3, I think it was. 140.3. Which puts my body mass index about 21.0 to 21.3. So that's perfect. Perfect. I'm going to maintain this body mass index forever. I'm not going to be gaining a bunch of weight. I'm going to maintain it forever, at least until I'm 110, and then I'll probably bring it down, my body weight, bring it down a little bit more. So I expect to be living to 124 years, and with my viability, perfect unassisted viability, past 115 years. Actually, it's scheduled to be 118. If you look at a chart of my longevity, it goes to 118 and then it begins to drop, and it drops rather sharply, which that means I'm compressing the end of life stage down to 1 decade. Less than 1 decade. Now, I think all of us should want to live long, but to be able to control your degradation, your degeneration, to be able to control that to where you can press the end of life stage. See, a lot of people right now, believe it or not, Sister One Africa, a lot of people right now are beginning to die in their late 30s and early 40s. Wow. You just began your life. Now you got to live the rest of your life. And to be honest, I am an African male in America. An African male in America has the shortest life expectancy of all other people in America at 69.3 years. I think 69.3 or 69.8. It's less than 70 years. Less than 70 years. Oh, we're stressed, and it shows. But people are beginning to die. High blood pressure, metabolic disease. They're beginning to die in their late 30s. People in their 40s, their kidneys have failed. Kidneys have failed. I know 2 people, kidneys failed, got transplants, and have to be on immune suppressive drugs for life. She says, looks like I'm going to have to develop a tolerance for green tea. Yuck. I'll drink to that. Green tea is fantastic. You got to try it. Try it. Mine has wild desert honey in it. I don't know how you don't like green tea. It has, I did put a black tea bag in it as well. Green tea, black tea. I put like 8 things in it. Coconut oil, etc., etc. Cinnamon. I love cinnamon in my tea. So you can tolerate it. To get your ECGC, where else are you going to get it? On that note, I am out of here. I think I'm going to go ahead and upgrade to Google AI Pro after just going through and turning off like a whole bunch of different things that I had been subscribed to. I had to turn them all off. For the new year, the new plan, the new economic development plan, first of all, what is it? Clear out the mess or clear out the mess. And I had to go through and turn off all of these things. I mean, it was a specific strategy I'm on. Let me see if I can find that. But it was essentially stop the bleeding. Turn off. Stop the bleeding. So my MailChimp account, you've gotten your last mass mailing from me for some time. I'll replace it. Canceled. Vimeo. Adobe changed from the $69 Adobe Suite to just one program. I only use one every day, and it's irreplaceable for me. Photoshop. Netflix canceled. Zoom pause for 3 months. OpenArt pause till April 6th. Basic Talk, I'm deciding whether I'm going to cancel that. My Basic Talk wasn't working, and so the guy's sending me, I couldn't dial out on it, so he's sending me a new modem, and if the modem works, maybe I will, maybe I won't turn off the extra phone. But I downsized. That saved me like over $100 a month. Because I had, unfortunately, you heard our December fund drive. It's too tight around here. I had to cut $100 worth of services out. And like the mail program, I hated cutting that off, but that's okay. I can always boost that back up again. And on that note, I hope you got something today you can use. The stem cell class is going to begin real soon. I have a book I'm writing right now, More Better Nutrition Information, and it will definitely be a complement to the last book I put out called Living Superfood Solutions. It will be extension of Living Superfood Solutions. Maybe I'll put them together. Maybe I won't, because it'll make the book so big, it'll be too expensive. Nobody will buy it, which apparently is too expensive. Nobody's buying the other one. But I do want to complete this book. The book has been researched. All of these programs I'm doing every day, I want to stick them in a book. And that's Mo Better Nutrition Information, or Nutrition Solutions. So on that note, I want to thank you all for tuning in today. I hope you did learn something. I hope you are inspired, informed. I'm going to set a date for the next stem cell class. I probably will have a Zoom on this Saturday. I did close my Zoom account, but I still have the free Zoom. I may do a free Zoom this Saturday. It'll be 40 minutes or less, right? You know how they are. And then I can always get someone who has an account to set up one for me. But do you want to learn this stem cell Now, my sister, for Africa one, she said this is a university level class, not over my head, but needs concentration. You will have plenty of time to concentrate on getting it right. So you tell me, are you interested in the class? Because if nobody's going to show up, I'm not scheduling it. Meanwhile, you've been tuned into your favorite. We aim to be your favorite. We are LIV Radio, LIV TV, livinginblack.com. I want you to tell your friends, to tell their friends that we have our own now. And we are very, very serious about what we have, what we do with what we have, and who we do it with. So on that note, I want to thank you all for all you do for all of us on the LIV Radio, LIV TV, and livinginblack.com network. Peace and prosperity to each and every one of you.